Okay, so the reference is this.
I've posted a video every single...
Thought it looked really cool, so we're going to remake that in CapCut. We're going to use Player 3, the effect that we used to do this. So first of all, we need a reference photo. I've just screenshotted my profile. I think it looks better in dark mode. Well, not necessarily, but for the aesthetic I wanted for the video, I wanted it in dark mode. So basically the first thing we're doing is doing that. Then what we're doing is we're changing the bottom bits here. You see at the bottom I've changed them out. And then the third thing is putting it all together. So let's make it right now. And the thing is with CapCut Mobile, not desktop but mobile, is you can't make compound clips. So these are little sub projects that when you tap on a clip, you get a new timeline and you can edit a project within a project basically. We can't do that. So what we have to do is we have to make it, export it, and then add it back into the project however we have. So let's just take the screenshot, and the first thing that we're doing is adding it as an overlay actually. I should have done that later. But what we need is just get videos of me doing whatever. This will work. So we're going to add that to the main timeline first, and we want this to be an overlay. Okay, so let's go overlay. And now what we're going to do is we want to get rid of those bottom bits of video there because we want to replace them with moving components. So we're creating a mask, we're putting it to there, and yeah, I think also to make this actually black, because it's not actually black right now, it's just a very dark shaded grey, is chroma key it on this and turn your intensity down just a tad. And now we want to bring this main track here. We're actually going to add black to the main timeline because it's going to make the layers much easier to see. And then we'll add this as an overlay. And then what we're doing is we're just creating more, to be honest with you. So we'll take this, make it a bit smaller. Then we'll take another random clip, mute that track, and then we're going to put that there. And you can animate these in whatever way you want. So say I wanted them all to come from the start. I could have that start there, and then have that come in like that with a quad or a cubic. And then have another one come in here. Yeah, that'll do. It really doesn't matter what we put at the bottom. That's going to take too long. It doesn't matter at all what we have down here because it's not very visible at all. It's just so that we can see that there's this movement going on. Because like good videos, they do a good effect, but they stack it on top of loads of other good effects to create a... Oh, it's done the wrong video, but that's fine because it doesn't matter. To create like a whole... To create movement, you know, so it doesn't feel... The whole scene doesn't feel static. And then what we're doing is we're literally just doing that over and over again and then splitting the clip, changing it. So go split, then go replace, and then change it for literally anything else. So this could be that. Ooh. Turn the volume down. And then put it back to the right size here. And we're just going to do that over and over again. You see the idea now. Then we go to the next clip on the next layer, split, make it a bit smaller, and then go replace again, and then find something else that's random. That'll do, it really doesn't matter. Drag it down to the right size, line it up roughly, and we're just doing that over and over again. And what you'll end up with once you do that is this, and just changing it. And yeah, so that's exactly what we've done there. We're just changing out the clips over and over again. So we come back here, it's the exact same thing. So now we have that. We're going to use my example before because I don't want to waste your time doing that all over again. And we're going to add another black background. We're going to need to change the aspect ratio back to 9:16 because it will auto change because of the because we've added a horizontal background there. And then what we want to do is use the video that we have of all these layers And we want to make that not perfectly fit the frame, a tiny bit smaller. I'll tell you why in a second. And then you're going to notice here that after a while, we run out of clips, right? They stop changing. What we're going to do is just split it, and just split just after we have them animate in, and then just duplicate it over and over. No one's going to notice because it's such a subtle little thing, and now they're constantly changing, right? And it looks pretty engaging. Now what we need to do, and this is a really, really time-consuming bit, is we need to change the numbers, and that's going to take some time. So we're going to add a black background and just cover up where it says the amount of followers there. Perfect. And then we want to pick a font that looks like it matches. No, it's not going to be that. I don't know which one I used before. I think Helvetica might work. And then we just got to line that up in the right place. And that looks pretty good. We could probably find the exact font if we searched it up, but that's going to work. No, there's got to be a better one. That's just a tiny bit too bold, isn't it? Maybe just the standard one, yeah. I think we'll use that for now. And then all we're doing, this is so time consuming, is splitting and then going in, and I'm doing 101k. And I'm splitting and I'm doing 102k. And I'm doing that all the way up to 165k. Maybe there's a better way, maybe there's a quicker way to do this, but on CapCut Mobile, that's what we're dealing with. And sometimes we can skip a few because people aren't going to be able to read it that quickly, but that's the idea. And then you see now, you can see it changing. And we need to do that all the way to 165k. So just split, change, and what we should end up with, if I made it correctly earlier, is this. Exactly what we had before, going all the way up. Just look at all of those text overlays, Jesus. Going all the way up to 165k. And now what we're doing is we're making sure that there's about a second or so of just black space first. This is really important because there's only one effect that can do 3D stuff in CapCut, and it's called Player 3. And when we put that in, Object, All Video, the problem is if I just had it at the start of the clip, look, it does all this weird shit, alright? We can get rid of the glow, sure. We can get rid of the weird texture, sure. But it comes up like that. And we don't want that. So to solve that, have that happen before we can see anything. So now we don't see it, and we can still add in the rotation, right? So then we can rotate it however we want, and you'll notice that the text isn't rotating here. So what we're going to need to do is go to Layers and then layer that above the text. And you're going to need to do this a few times because it's going to change positions. So just keep on going through. You don't have to do it for all like 60 of them, but if you do it for the majority, it'll auto add them to underneath, and then just check, and that's all good now. So now we have this. We're getting somewhere now, we're getting somewhere. And we don't want it to be too rotated, just a little bit to start with. And then we're going to keyframe. One keyframe at the start, one keyframe around here where we're going to have a small rotation. And then one more, and we're going to make it more intense on the other way. Now maybe we'll do it the other way around, you know. Make this like that. Yeah, I think that's good. And then we're going to duplicate this. No, there's not enough space, so we're not. But we're going to add a slow zoom after that. So go to your saved. If you're in the course, this is already in your saved, you know, all the good effects to have there. And then Object, All Videos, and then usual settings, change the speed to 0, change the range to, I mean, pretty low to start with. and then make sure this is layered above all of the text as well. And we also want to make sure, this is important, make sure that slow zoom is layered above player 3, because if it's the other way around, it's going to do something different, because the layer is telling you the order in which effects are to be done to the video. So we want the zoom to be above everything. That's the important thing here. So just find the right configuration so that slow zoom is above everything. Nice. And then we just got a few more to do, and this should sort itself out now. Yeah, nice. So now we also want to keyframe this. We're just going to have it come in nice and slow here. Maybe a little bit vertical. Yeah, probably. Now we'll start off with it not as vertical, and then we're going to keyframe the range to come in even higher. So now, make it come in higher. I think now we change the horizontal a bit, and we change the vertical to as high as possible, like that. What do we reckon? Yeah. Oh no, it's not layered above everything there, I can see it. Okay, now I think it's above everything. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. And the problem is though, that looks like super, what's the word I'm looking for? Like just stopping and starting, you know? And this is the secret sauce, it's graphs to sort that out. So I think we'll do an ease, some sort of quad ease on that. Yeah, there you go. And then it just comes in a lot smoother. Yeah, nice, 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 nice. I'll even try duplicating the slow zoom, you know. Oh, that hasn't gone above everything though, that's annoying. But I think if you just have more slow zooms, then it's just going to sell the effect even more. Oh, why is that doing that? At player 3, just get in the right fucking place, mate. You know what I'm going to do? Is I'm going to put player 3 to the front of everything. And then I'm going to put the slow zooms to the front of everything of that. It's still just being annoying. Why is it doing that? Okay, we're going to come out of the project and go back in, because that usually fixes any problems that we have there. Yeah, you can see it's playing up though. Let's go to layers. And stuff like this will happen. It does. But you just got to be patient and just figure it out, to be fair. Okay, now. Nice, that is perfect. Yeah, so that is it. Literally, that is it. And the way to sell it in whatever movement you're doing is the graphs. Keyframing and graphs. You can change them, like, we could make this a cubic instead. But I prefer it with that ease. And then when you're cutting, making quick cuts on peak velocity, you cut to the next thing, like I did in the video where I actually used this. And I've got one more thing to show you, is duplicate and replace, look for another effect, and we're going to do radial blur, which is what I used in my video. And you see the edges just look really nice now. I think that needs to be a little bit more horizontal to the left though. Yeah, and then it's centered. Nice, nice, nice. Perfect. And that is how you do that effect. As I said before, the reason that we have this space here is so that the player 3 has time to do its weird movement first, and then we have the effect. So save that, split it, create a clip that you can use again and again. Like I'm literally going to use this clip again and again now because it's so useful. And then sell it with sound effects, do like a gear sound effect, do some clicks. But yeah, that is it. I hope you enjoyed. This module is in the CapCut Creators course, but for everyone that's seeing this that isn't in the course, if you think that's for you, link in the description. It's the A to Z of editing to help you edit like me. So if that's something you're interested in, link down below. All right, see you in a bit.